Hello, fellow investor. I want to welcome you to this channel. In this video, we'll look at earnings expectations for NVIDIA. NVIDIA is scheduled to report first quarter earnings on Wednesday, May 28th after the market close. We'll cover several topics to see how NVIDIA is trading going into the earnings and help set expectations moving forward. We'll review the current price chart, trend charts, along with some key valuation metrics. I'll also share NVIDIA portfolio holdings and performance. Let's get started. NVIDIA is scheduled to report first quarter earnings on Wednesday, May 28th after the market close. In the previous quarter, NVIDIA reported revenue of $39.33 billion, beating revenue estimates by $1.19 billion. NVIDIA reported earnings of 89 cents per share, beating estimates by 4 cents. For this quarter, the revenue estimate is $43.2 billion, with earnings per share of 73 cents. Over the last 90 days, 6 analysts raised estimates and 8 analysts lowered estimates. NVIDIA meets or beats analysts' one-year forward estimates 91% of the time. NVIDIA is showing positive relative strength going into the earnings. The options market is pricing an implied move of plus or minus 7.8%. NVIDIA is a 2% position in my equity portfolio. I first entered NVIDIA in August of 2023 and have traded the position 28 times through May 2025. I currently hold 115 NVIDIA shares at an average cost per share of $76.29. The total return is 79% on the holding. For the 28 trades, 22 are winning trades and 6 losing trades. The gain-loss ratio is 3.26 to 1 with a win rate of 79%. When we look at the NVIDIA price chart, on November 21st, following a double beat for earnings, NVIDIA closed up 0.53%. We saw on January the 27th a drop of 16.87% on high volume, following the DeepSeek announcement that created fears that high-end GPU demand might be in jeopardy. Then on February the 27th, following a double beat, NVIDIA closed down 8.48%, also on high volume, and it produced a bearish engulfing pattern candle. And that was basically concerns around AI capital spend weighing on the price. Over the last year, there have been several bearish engulfing patterns. That have led to declines following those patterns, some of them more deep than others, but that's been a consistent pattern for NVIDIA over the last year. The price did trend downward to a low of 86.62 on April the 7th following the tariff announcements. We have seen a recovery of the price since that period, but we do see a rollover and some weakness in price over this last week. RSI was in an overbought condition 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we are seeing a little bit of a decline in the RSI, but we're still in positive territory at 63.8. We also have a PPO that's in positive territory with declining momentum and nearing the signal line. We do see that NVIDIA is outperforming the SPX on relative strength and momentum. For a good part of the last year, the accumulation was pretty much flat. But one of the encouraging signs is we do see positive accumulation at this point. We are seeing positive money flow since the beginning of April. Through the current point, it is starting to decrease slightly as we move into earnings. When we look at the performance of NVIDIA compared to the SPX, it is outperforming the SPX by 14.86%. NVIDIA is outperforming the sector by 18.26%. NVIDIA is outperforming the semiconductor industry by 12.55%, and the industry is outperforming the SPX by 2.06%. Looking at the NVIDIA 5-year weekly chart, we can see that for most of 2023 and 2024 and the first part of 2025 that NVIDIA was trading above its long-term averages. We did have a small underperformance here for a month or so, but is back above its long-term averages. We also see that it's trading above its medium-term or mid-term averages. And in the short term, it is also performing better than its short-term averages. Using data from Seeking Alpha, we can see that NVIDIA is currently trading at a forward PE of 31.8 times, which is above the sector average of 21.44 times. So NVIDIA is trading at a premium compared to the sector, but that could be justified based on the expected EPS and revenue growth over the next year. NVIDIA is expected to grow EPS at 65.16% compared to the sector at 10.27%, and the expected revenue growth for NVIDIA is 114.2% compared to the sector average of 6.02%. They're also very profitable with a net margin of 55.85% compared to the sector average of 3.66%. We'll turn our attention to fast graphs. We can see that NVIDIA is trading at a blended PE of 38.42 times. They have an EPS yield of 2.6%, a dividend yield of 0.03%. Over the time frame shown, NVIDIA has had an adjusted operating earnings growth rate of 51.81%. FastGraphs calculates their fair value ratio to be 51.81 times, and the market multiple, the normal multiple, is 42.28 times. We can see in the past that there has been some opportunities to pick up NVIDIA at below market multiples and fair value. They're currently trading below their normal PE of 42.24 times, so they are trading at a slight discount to the market. If they continue to trade, we could probably see the price at approximately 185. This is with an EPS growth rate for 2026 of 47%, 28% for 2027, and 13% for 2028. I hope you found this earnings preview helpful. If so, please subscribe to the channel for future videos and consider giving a like to help support the channel. Thank you for stopping by. I wish you the best in your investment journey, and remember to trade well.